Okay, so we'll first today we'll target actually starting learning about Spring Boot. Before we jump onto Spring Boot, right? What is Servlet? What is J? I mean, we'll learn more on the Spring Boot today, and we'll step back to understand like how it is different and what's the advantage of Spring Boot today. Uh, just to highlight the benefits of this one, we need to learn this one also. Okay, Servlet and JSPs as well. Servlet JSP and Spring MVC. Okay, just give like a high level overview, right? What is Servlet and what is JSPs and what is actually these are all three. Okay, so far actually whatever we learn is actually developing on a standalone application. Every time actually we are running on the main application, main program, right? So what happens when the main program, when you start running a main program, let's say this is your main method. Okay, when you run this one, it has actually a JVM. On top of JVM, it may have like a Spring container. So within the Spring container, it was running it either here or here. Actually, it was running it. And when you stop, actually, it was stopping the application. So this type of applications typically called as a desktop applications. Desktop applications. Okay. So far we learned about this one. Why they call desktop application is it's running on the desktop. Nowhere else actually it can run it. Right? Meaning like if you run actually I can't access the results. Right now, what we will do, we'll learn about client server architecture. What is client server architecture? So there will be a client, right? A program will be running in the server. A program may be running in the server. So this program, this guy will ask actually like execute it or anything controls being remotely accessing the application is called a client server application. What is client server application and how it is working? So let's say you are actually talking google.com, right? So what is happening when you say google.com? It's going to a server, the request, right? Client here is your browser in this specific aspect, right? So your browser, and what you are doing, you are hitting www.google.com. So what it is doing, it's going to google.com server. Okay, the request is going here and response actually sending back to here with this screen. So anything, if you say gmail.com, it goes to a gmail.com server and it returns back this much response. Okay, so this is what client server architecture. Now actually what you are doing, let's say Java IDE, you are searching it, right? Next actually within the google.com in the browser, you are searching Java IDE. And this request goes again to server and responds back. So you see that difference, right? It's not actually your input is coming from a client. Input is coming from a client. That client can be So this client can be a user, or it can be a browser, or it can be another computer, or it can be another server as well. It can be anything. So it can be a browser, it can be another server, okay, it can be a desktop, just like your desktop, right? So same thing actually. What do you mean by desktop? It's not browser. So same thing actually. What I can do here, uh, curl. See, I got the response. So when I hit curl, I got the response. What you are looking for and everything actually it is asking. So this is what actually a desktop command line approach, CLIs, desktops or CLIs. Okay. So it can be anything. It can be, I said, right? It can be a desktop application, or it can be a another server, or it can be a browser, or it can be something else as well, a mail or anything. It can be anything basically. A client can be anything who talks to another person. So it's like a, you can say like a client server or point to point. Two systems are talking actually. Two applications are talking each other. That is called like our client server architecture as of now, or P2P you can say in further language. So how you will do that one? Uh, that's where actually it's coming up. So in order to do that, right, our application, the main application will run, and once it is done, once the main method is completed, it exits. Or even if it's like a test program, test in JUnit program, after the test method is completed, it exits. So how actually I can keep this application running? What is the technique? So that's where the concept called within the server, the concept, one more concept is called application server. So this application server, right, it can be like any server, but within that one application server or web servers, application server, web server, what they will do, they will keep the application alive. They won't let, they won't, you know, die as soon as actually the main method is completed. They have some libraries, okay, where they will keep the application alive as long as actually this are alive. If this are alive, right, they will keep it, your application alive, and means it will be keep running, and it will respond to your clients, because it is up and running. Okay, that's what the client server architecture. So we have actually application server or web server. Application server, again, you can ask like, what is the difference between web server and application server? Web server generally actually takes care of only web requests, web based request. Whereas application server is not only like a web based request, but it also actually holds up some, you know, engineering logic as well, like a code engineering or whatever, for P2P applications. So this one, right, it can only respond on HTTP request, because that's a web, right? The web server can only respond to HTTP or HTTPS server request. Whereas application server need to run on anything, like it's beyond web server. It may be responding on HTTP and HTTPS, but it can respond on any other request as well. Maybe it talks to a database, or it talks to queues, it talks to a mail server. Yes, we'll go over that one. So it can be like a beyond HTTP HTTPS. It does more things actually. It can be a RMI, means remote invocation protocol, or there are different techniques actually where this is involved. SOAP and all. Okay, we'll learn each and everything actually throughout this course. But today we'll learn about HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, so what we are going to do today, we'll develop a small Spring Boot application. Okay, and we will develop a just user ID login page, and if user and login both are same, we'll respond back to our we'll respond back to our uh, client that okay, you are successful. Okay, that's what we are going to do it. So before we going to do, uh, yeah, that's what we are going to do. Uh, so what it is, like a user will be entering, will be having in the browser will be having a username and password. So if username password both are same, like a admin, it returns to a page called it returns to a response message that success, welcome user. If not right, what it does, it responds okay, failed user authentication. That's what it is going to do. So what we are going to do today, we are developing a web server application, where actually there will be a login screen, username, password. If both are same, it going to be a welcome user. In failure case, actually, it's going to take to a different message that actually the user message is failed. Okay. So we will start developing that. So before going that one, there is a concept called, like again, you will be having lot of questions. It's a Maven application. We are going to do it. When we are going to do a Maven application, uh, like it's not only you, many people has many issues to find like what is my Maven libraries, what libraries I need to use it. So for all this purpose, right, what Spring came up, Spring is an open source actually. Spring came up like an initializer. It tells you like what version of the libraries you want it, what libraries you want it. It everything actually it gives you with more intuitive way. So what it is, let's say, just I'm going like a Spring initializer. This is what actually Spring initializer. Start.spring.io. This works only for Spring Boot applications, not for everything else. Go here, Spring Initializer. What kind of project you want? Maven project. What language you are doing? Java language. So try to take the not the snapshot version. Don't take the snapshot versions, because snapshot version is actually still it is in the development version. Uh, Anything else, right? 2.6.12 or 2.7.4 is more like a your appropriate versions, like stable versions, you can say. Snapshot versions are the versions which are still in development. Uh, the normal ones are stable versions. So let's take a stable version. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you like a my package name is com.lmink.training. So my artifact is jar name, or the artifact name is uh, Spring Boot demo. Okay. Uh, and then in dependencies here, actually, I can add whatever I want. So add dependencies. As soon as you say add dependencies, it shows up lot many things like what you want. I want Spring Web. Okay, Spring Web I added. Also, I want uh, yeah, time leaf. So it is like a templates. It's going to give it some templates. We'll use them. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure today we can cover this one, but we'll try to use this one. So we added two libraries here. And what I am going to do, if I generate right, it downloads a Spring Boot sample project with all the POM XML, main, Java, COM, Helming, right? Everything actually that is needed for you, right? Everything actually it generates. Okay. Uh, you can simply use this one. Okay. Or you can create your own. If you want to create your own, right? Like let's go back once and see, use the same thing. So what I'm going to do, Spring Boot demo, right? Where it is. Okay. So I'm going to use the same thing. I just copied everything. And what I'm going to do, I will go and I will use that uh, new project from existing source. Yeah, Spring Boot demo. So I'm opening it, create. So it's all going to be okay. So I have created a project. Yeah. So I have created a Spring Boot demo project, and within this one, I have this. It's already created many things. Automatically, it comes up. Okay, and I have pom.xml. Look at this pom.xml. Whatever actually I gave, right, it came up with all the details. So Java version it is using 17, and it's using uh, Spring Boot Starter Web and Timeleaf, two projects. Okay, if alternatively, actually, if you want to generate uh, uh, only the POM XML, you want to utilize it. So what you can do, right? You can say, I'm just adding like a Lambok as well here. We know Lambok what it is, right? It generates getters, setters, and everything. So alternatively, you can use it like Explore. In the Explore, actually, you can see it how many files it is created. You don't need to download. If you want to just reference, you can use Explore. Okay. So this is what actually it does. So now actually what I want to do, I want to create Lambok dependency also. Okay, I created. Now what I'm going to do, I'm installing all Maven. What happened? 1 second. it's coming as produce. Add frameworks. We don't need this folder. We don't need these comments as well. I mean, not big deal. It's not showing Maven. Modules. Okay. Now it's converted to Maven module. Where is my POM XML? Okay, I think it's rewrote everything. Let me take it from here. Okay, I took it everything from here, and now actually I'm installing Maven libraries. Reload. Okay, that's all I did it. Okay, I just created my Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot Maven downloaded, and here actually I have one class. It's auto generated. We'll learn about this class today, what it is and why we need it, and that's all actually, nothing much. It's all templates. There are two directories it's created: templates, uh, static, and one property file it generated, nothing else. So now, right, what I'm going to do, I'm running this main application. Okay, this main application, because there is a main method in it. As usual, actually, I'm running the main method today. So I'm running main method. Now, if you notice, actually, okay, some errors. Yeah. I know.
Are you getting web server?
Just a second. Uh,
Sir, are you stop the 8080 port number?
yeah, I'm doing that.
Sir,
Yeah.
it will be in application properties.
No, actually, it's somewhere else. It seems like I installed Tomcat, so I need to kill that. Yeah, it stopped. So I'm going here and rerunning it. Okay. Now look at this log messages. It's running on a service called Tomcat. Tomcat web server. Tomcat web server is initialized and port number is 8080. Okay. So it's running on this one. So if I go here, right, if I say now localhost 8080, it's something actually you can see it. Then nothing, right? Like some white label error or whatever. Okay. So what is happening here is, okay, your application, this is your Spring Boot application. So what it did, it actually get deployed into a Tomcat server. So it get deployed into Tomcat server. Okay. And in everywhere, right? What is 8080 you can ask? Everywhere actually, every process is associated, that's operating system concept actually. Every process is associated with a port number. I already told you like when we were discussing about MySQL. So host is something like your home or street number. Uh, the port number is actually your room number, something like that. You can imagine that. So every service will be having a port number. So this port number right here, this guy is running on 8080. That's a default port number. Tomcat server is running on 8080. It's a default server. So now this Spring Boot application got deployed into Tomcat server and it is running on 8080. That's what so far actually we saw it. So root web application context is initialized. Tomcat started port number 8080. Context path is just empty. So now actually I went here and I just typed it 8080. Nothing happened. Now let's take it up actually something to get the response. So now this is application. Now actually what I will do, I will write a controller. Let me create a package first. I'm coming there. Yes, Apache is a server. Now I am writing a controller. Controller, I will tell the verbiage what it is. Just first let me focus in going this one. Or my controller. Okay, I didn't do anything. My controller, it's a class. Okay, now here I am actually sending a string message. Okay, hello, return. Nothing else actually, I'm doing this one. So in order, actually, if I actually want to execute this one, what I will do, I will go, okay, here is the main method. So what I will do, I will actually create, what is that, my controller equals to new my controller. Okay, system dot out dot println, system dot out dot println. Okay, my controller dot hello. So this will print me like whatever the message it is sending, like hello user, it will print it. But I don't want actually to print it on my desktop. I want to print it on the to whoever actually calling me. For all those things, actually, I want to tell them that okay, this is my response. Okay, so how can I do that one? Okay, for this it's pretty simple. All you need to say that this is a controller. First thing is you need to tell Spring Boot by annotating that okay, this is a controller. These are decorators. What are decorators again? At this time, in a layman words, think that okay, these are kind of some uniforms. These decorators are like a uniforms. Okay, let's say if you are in a school, uh, and how do you identify a class leader? Maybe he has like some badge, right? If you're in a like a factory or anywhere, how do you identify a officer? Maybe he's wearing like everybody else is wearing like a khaki dress and officer is wearing like a white dress. So that's decorators, right? Like how actually easily can I identify? Or if you are there in a military, right? How do you identify their grade? What grade they are in? Like they have stars. So if 3 stars, maybe major, 4 stars, colonel, like that actually you can identify, right? So similarly here, these are like a decorators. So using a decorator, you are telling Spring that, okay, this is my controller. So what it does, controller, okay, it identifies, okay, you are a controller. It just keeps that identifies a controller. Now, right, I want here, what I'm saying, get mapping Just I am giving like a get mapping. I'm coming there what it is. Now let's rerun this application and let's see what happens. Okay, I got it. Just for a second, I don't want actually time leave for a few minutes or maybe till tomorrow. Let me reload it. I'm reloading and restarting my application. Now let's see what happens. Mm, Yeah. Okay. So what I did, I instead of a controller, I decorated as a REST controller. I will first actually I will explain REST controller. Maybe from tomorrow onwards we'll go on the controller and we'll differentiate them. So I just created REST controller here, and then I told that okay, hello. So I can remove this one also. Starting and stopping it again. See, now actually instead of doing anything like my server, it didn't exit as my controller is there, right? After this method, it didn't exit. Even though main method is exited here, right? So hello user is actually exited here, right? If you want, actually, I can put something. So I'm restarting it again one more time. Okay. Main method is exited. The main method is completed. But even though main method is completed, I still can get respond back. Also, you can send it. Okay, maybe it's confusing you, right? What you can do, like every time actually you want to make sure that it's a new request. Okay, so now one more thing. See, this is actually painful process, right? When I am developing and testing it, every time actually I'm stopping and starting. This is a painful process. There is actually a advantage in Spring Boot. You don't need to actually do every time this stopping, starting everything. Right? So what you can do, right? You can go again. We are coming back here. Okay, just close it and add dependency. There is one more dependency called dev tools. See here, they already mentioned dev tools, developer tools. So if you see it provides faster application restarts, live reload, and configuration for enhance. Live reload means it reloads automatically. You don't need to do anything. So let's go back, explore, and see like what is the dependency for that one. Yeah, this is the dependency. I'm taking it and I will update in my form.xml. Okay, and then I will reload this one. Maven reload. If this is in your class path, right? If it is in your class path, you don't need to actually keep on restart this application. We'll see it one time. We'll restart it, and let's go back here. Yeah, so I can see that, right? Now I am going to do some changes, some other changes. Maybe what I am doing. Okay, Tuesday. Also, okay, maybe I'm adding a system.out statement also here. Okay, so far actually there is no so far there is no log this one, and I am not restarting every time. Let's see what happens. No, it didn't. Yeah, no, it's not reloaded. Yeah, it actually reloads, but again, there are some drawbacks in that. Actually, it reloaded. No, it didn't. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, so there are a few drawbacks in this one, dev tools. Sometimes it won't reload, but most of the time, actually, you don't need to do a live, you don't need to restart every time. It solves actually. Okay, so that is what actually it is. So now, right, you can see it. A program is actually being executed. This main method is executed through a browser request. It's not only me, right? Even you can also hit it. So how we can hit it? So as I said, right, it's like a what's my IP. So it gives like a your IP address, or alternatively, you can go here in your Windows, type ipconfig. It gives that. So instead of localhost, what I'm going to do, I'm giving my IP address. Okay, it's restrictions on this one. Yeah, see, it's my local IP. Public IP, actually, I think I disabled that one for security reasons. That's why actually my IP is not accessible, but you can see it actually. It's local IP, right? It's not local host. Even using your local host IP address also, you can access this one. The IP address, what I did in my Wi-Fi setting, I disabled it, not to publicly accessible my information. Maybe for you, actually, it is accessible. Okay. So that's what actually it is. Like anywhere, actually, you can try it and you can run the program. It still runs the same thing. Okay. So far, any questions?
Sir, will you open the IntelliJ idea once?
Yeah.
When you run it, it will why 14th line is why output like getting I'm called it's getting 2 times. Why?
1 second.
Run, sir.
Run. It's coming. Yeah. So it's coming only one time actually. So 2 already there. Yeah, 3. I might have hit like a one more time. It's only coming once. So already 3 are there, right? I'm hitting one more time, refresh button,
Okay.
and you can see only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only one time it is coming there.
So we need to install the Tomcat server.
No, that's where I'm coming there. You don't need to install anything. All you need, right? Take that POM XML. Nothing else is required. Just take this POM XML, whatever it generated. Nothing else is required. That's what the magic in Spring Boot. Why people prefer more Spring Boot nowadays? Because of this magic. So what this magic and all, like maybe we'll know in coming sessions. So at high level, this is what. Okay. Somebody yesterday asked, like Shahid, I think you asked me, right? What is the difference between Spring and Spring MV, Spring? What bindings? What bindings, Dharani? Okay. Let me go ahead. In the meantime, she can respond. So yesterday, Shahid asked, right? What is the difference between Spring and Spring Boot? This is what actually the difference. The first difference is starter. Starter. Spring Boot, as mentioned, right? Spring Boot. Booting means what? It starts up automatically, right? Uh, when your machine turns on, what happens? It boots up. In the booting process, what happens? Actually, it loads various libraries, various things actually. Under the hood, actually, it does so many things and then brings up the Windows login screen for you. Anything, actually, any application, right? When it is loading, it the loading part actually is also called as a booting. The booting takes some time. It loads all the libraries. It does the configuration and everything, and then opens up. That's why actually they named it actually the boot. Boot comes up with a lot of libraries automatically. So as you've seen here, uh, don't know, like external libraries, why it's not showing it here. Yeah, here external libraries. Look at this one, like how many things actually came up. I didn't invoke, I didn't set up anything actually. I didn't set up any of this one, right? AOP, core. In last classes, actually, we learned only these things: context, bean, core. These things we know it. But apart from that, it also loaded MVC, Web MVC, Spring Boot, Auto Configurator, Starter, JSON, logging. So many things actually it's loaded, right? Log4j also it loaded up. So that's what the beauty of this one. The boot, right? It automatically brings up a lot of libraries that is needed for the application. You don't need to externally do something extra. And also there is second point, auto configure. This auto configure actually gives you an opportunity. Actually, it does most of the things actually as a magic. You don't need to specify it. What it is and all, actually we'll know it in the coming session. When I told you, right, I will go back and I will explain again Servlet and JSP, and you will know like what is auto configure, how actually your Spring is doing the magic, Spring Boot is doing the magic. Right now you are only seeing the magic. Okay, under the hood actually what is happening, we will know more detail by stepping back to Servlet JSP and Spring MVC. Hosting is a different part, Dharani. We will come to know like later on that. Maybe still time is there for that one. how we can host it and how where the deployment and all, right? That's called, we call it a deployment process. So we'll know actually maybe later part, not now. Just give me a second. Okay. Yeah. Where I am. Core. Yeah. The boot comes up with a lot variety of jar files, libraries that are needed for your application, and auto configure actually within the boot configure, as you seen here, auto configure comes up with a lot of auto configuration. It just comes up as a magic. Uh, so one of the magic is, we just told get mapping, okay, and then I gave the a slash mark, right? So it actually, the Spring Boot auto configure, when the application is starting up, it actually did like a lot of uh, bindings. As bindings means actually what URL need to meaning like a to do what, right? So what I will do, I will also create one more URL. Okay. This also, uh, this is hello user, and I need to pass string user. So what it does, right? It also does the same thing like a hello, okay, but it also returns whatever the user it is passed. So let's say, okay, so this is what it's going to return it, hello user. But actually I'm passing user, right, argument. So let's see actually. Again, I need to give like a get mapping. And here, right, in the get mapping, the URL, what I will do, I'll tell that user, and I'm just passing the user. So how it knows actually this is coming? Let's first actually try it. We'll show it now, right? Let's say, I think I need to restart. Yeah, dev tools are not working in the, okay. Okay, so it's actually now null. Though actually I am specifying it, the user actually whatever it came, right, it came null. So in order to pass it, right, what I will do, hello user, still actually it did come. Now see the magic. What I did, I just did user equals to Java. Where what user? This is the user equals to Java, and it came like a hello Java. It identified whatever the parameters I am passing, it identified. Now, what are these ones? Right? These are called like a request parameters. Request parameters comes up in a question mark, after question mark symbol, it comes up like this. So you can see it actually, even if you see google.com, sometimes let's say Java. See here, what it came up, right? It came up like a, this is what actually the API, whatever it's going to do. And after question mark, it came Q, means query, equals to Java, right? Equals to Java. And also it passed like a, so many things actually that are not related to us. That may be something actually where this browser is doing for this search. Source equals to HP. I mean, so many things. That's what actually it does it automatically. I am not specifying it anywhere else. The code that is required actually, okay, my next URL is here, and do this one. Okay, so I'm stepping back a little bit to make you understand. Now maybe actually you saw the magic, right? What is happening when I say /user, it coming like the username, we can read it. Right? Now let me step back and explain what are these ones. Okay, these are actually HTTP methods. The way actually you have a method, right? It's a This is a method, right? Hello user. Okay, what is happening in HTTP? HTTP is actually what it is. It's actually, you can see it actually, it's a HTTP. Oh, if you copy it, right, what it is, it's a HTTP on HTTP protocol. In HTTP protocol, you have actually few methods, few standard methods. Okay, those are get, post, put. These are like a commonly used or majorly used methods. Okay, now will come like a some uncommon. Delete, trace. These are like a not very much will be used, like or you can also see like a HTTP methods. Okay, see get, post, patch, maybe trace, not the one, patch. Okay, options, head. There is one more thing called head. So likewise, actually, like there are different methods for different purposes. So most commonly we will use in the application these three: get, post, put, and post and put. Rest of things actually just you need to know it what it is. Nothing else actually. In many of the real-time applications, these maybe delete somewhat actually will be using it, but none other than that. It's very rarely we will use them. So now, right, what is get? Let's learn about get. So get is nothing but you are asking something. Get is nothing but actually reading some information. Get is like when you are reading it. Post is actually when you are submitting. Let's say actually you are not reading. In layman words, actually you are submitting some files. You are submitting some data, right? That's you are submitting. That's where actually you can see like a post. Put is modifying. You already submitted some data. Now you want to modify it. That's where actually we'll use this one. Delete is delete, as I mentioned, right? So now we will learn about more on reading today. So it's basically what it is, right? How this method will come. you need to say any request, right? It's a GET request. So you need to say HTTP, you need to mention that, and host colon port. Okay. This gives the access to your application. And then you need to specify the endpoint. This is called like an endpoint. Slash is the root endpoint, right? If you specify on that one, it's this method, right? After this actually nothing is there. So here actually there is nothing. After slash, I didn't give anything. So this method will be, again, look at this one. What I said, it's a get mapping. Okay, on slash root. I mentioned that it's a get mapping. Similarly, there is a post mapping, there is a put mapping, everything is there. So if you want, actually you can know it. Post mapping. So post mapping is also there. Get mapping, post mapping. Again, these are decoratives, right? I said that decorators. These decorators will tell the Spring boot or Spring configuration, like how to react. So you are telling here a decorator get mapping. So this get mapping, what it's going to do here, okay, this get mapping, you are mapping this one. Your Spring actually will automatically map this guy to this one. Okay, now second part, you have another URL where your get mapping is slightly different. User, right? So here you need to pass here also user. So after that, user. Okay, it just ignores actually the first part. Okay, that's all actually done with your application server only. Till this actually application server will take it. This one, right? HTTP host port, your application server will take it. From there, the endpoint, right, will be mapped like this. So user will map to user. So let's say now actually you want some courses. Public string list courses. So you can specify like as much as you want, right? Get mapping. It's at the rate get mapping. Don't forget at the rate symbol for decorators. At the rate get mapping. Now actually what we're saying, courses slash list. Okay. Now here what you are doing, you are returning list of courses available. Okay. So what it is, return arrays dot as list. Okay, I'm adding courses. Java, Python, .NET, Angular. Okay, so this is what I did that one. Now what will be my endpoint? How in order to hit this one, like how can I make my your URL? So this is my server and port number. After that, whatever it comes, right? that's going to, I need to add it. So now, right? So I will take this one. Let's say this is my sorry, uh, where I am. So this is my get mapping, right? So this is my get mapping courses list. So in order to make request on this method, my URL need to be something like this. It's need to be, let me take it outside. It's need to be HTTP host port, host colon port slash. This need to come here. It need to be courses slash list. Let's see now. Actually, it comes. I'm going to here and I am making this. Instead of host port, actually I'm making, it's my local host and port number is 8080. See, it came right. It came up as response. So this is what actually it going to map to your method. Wherever actually you specify get mapping and the URL endpoint, this is called an endpoint. What is your endpoint? It courses slash endpoint. Or if you ask like a full endpoint, it includes of everything. This is what actually a full endpoint. And this is a short endpoint. Your endpoint will be mapped using the decorators or annotations. That responsibility, whenever actually like your browser comes up, it actually goes to your application server. Let me come here. Now, right, you are as an user, so you are a user, okay? You open a browser, you open a browser, okay? This browser, you are giving URL. That URL actually, let's say this is what actually your request. So this request, right? This request, when you hit the request to this one, it actually first goes into your application server or a web server or Tomcat server in this case. This guy, okay, because why it comes, this request is having a server colon port. Within this server, wherever actually your port is running, first actually it assigns to this guy. In this server port 8080, actually Tomcat is running. So request came to him first. So what this guy will do, this guy will identify for him, right? He don't know like what is Spring Boot application, right? So he will identify, okay, what is the rest of part. Okay, it came to me, but what's the point? Like, okay, now, right, somebody knocked your door within your home. You open the door and you will ask them actually, like, okay, what do you want? That's what exactly this Tomcat server is doing. So this Tomcat server will take the rest of portion endpoint, user, for example, user. This user part, they will take it, okay, and he will see actually whenever this Tomcat server is loaded, right, he will list down all these get mappings, okay, get mappings. So how it does, right? So okay, he will put in a table, for example. He will put in a table. Now he will be having a table. So if nothing, actually it has to go to a hello method. Hello method. Okay. Hello method. If user, okay, go to what is this method? Hello user. Hello user method. If what is this courses list, courses that list, then go to list courses method. List courses method. You need to go it. So he will check now what is the rest of endpoint. Okay, it is this one. Okay, go here, and within the Spring Boot application, your method will be executed. This method will be executed. That's how your get requests are. The request will work it. Any questions on that part?
No, sir.
Are you able to follow Kavya, Dharani, Shahid? Are you able to follow this? These are like your going to be your day in day out going forward.
Yes, sir, I can follow.
Okay. Now you can ask like, okay, how actually user is getting this input, right? Okay, here there are two types of parameters again. These are like method parameters we have, right? So the method parameters is now divided into two types of parameters. That is query param, and path param. Two types of arguments actually you can pass it to a method. Query param, path param. Okay, what is query param? So in get request, right? Whatever the params actually you need to pass it in get request. That's what when you go back here, where is the get request? When you go back here, there is a bigger disadvantage in the get request. The bigger disadvantage is actually disadvantage is the data is visible. What data? Request data. Requested data is visible in the get. the get. Okay, this is visible. At the same time, there is one more advantage. Advantage is it's called like idempotent. What it means? No change with multiple calls. So what it means, right? Let's say actually you all have like a water motor in your home, right? Your mom is asking you like to turn off the water motor because it seems like your tank is full and your mom is asking you to turn off water motor. You take that as a request, okay, and went and turned off the water motor. Again, she might have forgot actually, you already switched off it. Again, she came back to you and asked you, turn off water motor. What you are going to do now? Again, you are going to do a turn off that one. What happens now? It's if it is a two-way switch, right? Assuming that it's a two-way switch, or you turned off one more time and you again went there and you again switch. It's a two-way switch, right? It's a you just swap the one, right? Now the motor will turn on, isn't it? Hello, are you guys sleeping?
Yes.
So it will turn
No,
on,
sir.
right?
No.
Yeah, but keep interactive. So it will turn on, right? That's a problem, right? So idempotent, what it says, right? It doesn't matter actually how many number of times actually uh, uh, it requests you. It gives the same response. It doesn't affect any resources. Anything actually it does not affect. Why? It mainly used for reads. It's not for performing action, right? In the previous example, I asked you, right? Turn motor switch off. What it is? It's a performing action. Okay. Now same thing actually. What I'm doing? Okay, your mom came and asking you, did you turn off water motor? Your answer may be yes. For example, okay, you didn't do any action. Okay. Again, after 5 minutes, she is coming back to you. Again, she is asking you question like, did you turn off water motor? Your answer still yes, right? Because you didn't do any action. So idempotent is that's what actually it is. Your response, actually, your actions, you are not performing any action. Okay. And because of this one, your resource will not change it. Like you are not performing anything. The get request is not allowed to perform anything. It only for a query. Like if there is a database, right? You write select query and n number of times actually you execute a select query. The data will change? No, right? Data will never change it until unless actually you do a insert statements, update statements. So this get request is more of a like a query. The one disadvantage is of this one is the one or biggest disadvantage is whatever the data actually you want to request, actually it's visible in the URL. Visible in the URL. It cannot actually hide it. That's why if you are requesting a sensitive information, let's say actually you want actually a username password, all right, then don't pass it here. So as I mentioned, right, like let's see actually like how actually this works. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a another endpoint, public string login. Here, right, I have string username, string password. Okay. So it has like a two responses. get mapping. I am passing like a login is my endpoint. Okay, login is my endpoint. Okay, so what I'm doing, if again we need to do null checks as many number of times as not as many number of as much as possible to just to do like a whether the requests are coming properly or not. So how will you do that null check? If username equals to null or password equals to null, then return okay, login failed. Okay. If username or password actually did not enter, then what I'm going to do, I'm returning that a login failed. Okay. If that is not the case, right? If username dot equals if username dot equals password, okay, return login successful. Okay, login is successful. Okay. If not, then I will tell that please retry login. So I have two messages, three messages. If login or username provided, like no credentials provided. Okay, what it is saying? No credentials provided. If login username or password actually matching, then actually it is saying that login is successful. Otherwise, it's providing login is successful. Now, the default way is actually calling this one, right? What will be my endpoint? Here it will be like something like this. I'm putting the comment. It will be HTTP localhost 8080 slash login. So till login, actually it's there. Now this parameters, right? How you can map parameters? That's where actually your question mark will come. Till login, actually this method, this get mapping is satisfied. Now these are there, right? In order to pass the data to them, you need to put a question mark. That means actually request params are coming in. This username, the method param username equals to whatever the username you want it. Username is admin. Okay. Now one user, one param we pass it. How about the next one? In Java, actually we have like a comma separated values, we can pass it. But in HTTP protocol, we need to separate the multiple parameters using AND. That's what exactly here you can see it in Google, right? Whenever you see it, first actually the question mark came. That means the query param started. After that, Q means something is Java and operator. Source is something. And again, EI equals to something. You can see like a multiple parameters and something like IF. This is some code actually. I don't know. Yeah, it ended here. Again, VED equals to something. UACT is something. And then what it is? OQ, GSIP. So it actually generated so many query parameters. Just for one query, actually, the browser generated so many things. Even you can experiment it actually in your browser. So it is not, the GET requests are not actually safety purpose. These are actually more like a common data, more like a open data where you want to communicate it. So now let's go back here. So in order to pass password, what I will do? Password. password also I will keep admin. This is the way I can talk to this guy. Let's see actually if what happens if I hit it. Let me restart once. Okay. Okay. Problem is this one. Yeah, login is successful. So if I pass something else, right? Not admin. If I pass here, Kavya, please retry login. If I don't even pass again, you don't confuse with percentage symbols. These are just actually a URL encoders. You can still see like, okay, this is this one admin. This is admin. This is admin. And admin. So you can say that even if you hit it, actually it automatically comes up. That's actually browser intelligence. It's trying to encode for some reason. I mean, we'll come to know in the coming classes like what it is. So if I don't pass password, right, what happens? No credentials provided, right? So if I pass password and my password is admin, I'm getting login is successful. Okay, but there is a problem. Why my method, I mean, it might be a situational or it might not be a situational problem. Why my method arguments need to be exposed? Who cares actually what if I want to use like a instead of username, maybe I have like a different name I want to expose to the public, not this one. So by default, actually, you need to pass the method argument names only. But alternatively, you can pass query params. You can give like a different name by using request
Sir,
param.
is it that mandatory to pass every time as per the signature, method signature?
Yeah, that's right. No, it's not. It is not. So when it is not by default, actually it takes that one. But you can override it with a request param. Okay. Here, right?
Okay.
You can give you. Okay. So let's see now. Let's restart it. Now I'm not passing you username and everything, but I'm just passing you. See, it's successful. Just like actually how the Google is acting, it's you only I passed it. I can still pass username, still it can identify. I don't think so. It will not. Yeah, it will not. Username, it will not identify it. That the param is not exist, but you is exist. You is exist. Similarly, I can give for password as a P. All you need to give in the again decoration, annotations or decorations. Okay. Request param, this one. Okay. PP, right? Now actually if I give the same, I don't know restart is required or not. Yeah, restart is required. Okay. So now if I give this one, it will fail it, right? Yeah. So what I will give, I will change the name to P. So, I mean, to some level, actually, it's still providing some security. Again, not like a full security. The data is still visible, but in order to avoid like what is what, at least data, right? What is what, I can give like a some pseudo names using request param attributes. That's about request param. Now we'll know about path param. What is path param? So let's go back our Google example. Okay. I am here. Let's see, actually, let's go back, go down and hit actually. I don't know, it will give path param. TPR equals to 2. It's not path param. Okay. Sometimes actually like this, right? Courses. You need to give like a let's take enroll course. Let me take like a public string enroll for a course. Enroll for course. String student name. So this is my request param, and I am giving like a some name or s name. Okay. Now I am going here, and here what I'm going to do, as you see here, actually I have 4 courses: Angular, .NET, Python, Java. Okay. I want to enroll for a particular course, right? But I want actually the URL need to depict actually the same thing, not like actually yes name or anything passing that one, but the course name I want to read it from the URL actually. So in that case, what I am going to do, so what I will go get mapping. It's okay. Enroll path param course string course. So I have two things now. One is path param, another is the request param. So this course, right, what I will do, I will say, I'll just give this one. This needs to be matched here. Okay. What I'm going to do, return student, or I will use formatter actually. String that format percentage yes is successfully enrolled in course percentage yes, comma, yes name, student name, and course. Okay, this is what my this one. Let's see like what happens. Path param example. Just 1 second. Yeah, it's same thing, right? Path variable. Okay. Path param is what? Okay. So something actually. I confused actually with the import statement. It's path variable. So let's see. Yeah, it's course. Everything is matching. Path variable course. Okay. No dollar symbol. Okay. Yeah. So this is what actually I did that. So what I'm going to do? Let me take it back. So my URL, right? What I want to do? I want to give them more meaningful or more segregated URL. So what I want to do, right? So till this one is common, right? So here I want to give like a Java. For Java, it's Java. Okay. For Python, it's Python. For .NET, I want to give .NET. For Angular, it's giving Angular. So here I can give my username followed by Java question mark S name equals to Kavya. S name equals to Dakshayani. S name, sorry, S name equals to Shahid. S name equals to Sabah. So this is what actually I wanted. So let's see actually what it says. Did I restart my server? I think yes, right? Yeah, I did that. Oh, enroll. I want to give enroll / enroll. I forgot next one. This is also there, right? Enroll. Yeah. So Kavya is successfully enrolled for Java. So same way now actually I will remove this path param. Let's say Python. I give Dakshayani. Dakshayani successfully enrolled for Python. Likewise, actually, you can create path variables in order to give a dynamic path like this. It will be useful actually when you are going uh, going and dealing with multiple APIs, just to segregate it based on the URL itself. Yeah, that's all it is for today. Any questions? Again, I'm repeating the last one. There are two types of parameters you can pass it. One is the query param or request param, you can say that. The synonyms, the verbiage is request parameters, okay, and path params also count as path variables. Okay, so query params are each and every query param is separated by and, but query param starts after a question mark symbol in the URL. Whereas path params are part of the URL. It goes within the part of the URL like a between the slashes, between the two slashes separators like this. So here course can be a query path param or path variable. So whatever it comes, this one, right? These are request params. Say after, say, right? After say whatever it comes, right? It's a request param. And each request params are separated by and symbol. You can pass any number of request params in the get request, but each should be separated by a ampersand. That's what ampersand. Any questions on this today class?
Sir,
Yeah,
will
we
you
are done with.
explain that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, in IntelliJ IDEA, you path parameters will be there, right? Will you open that?
Yeah, yeah,
Sir,
path
you
param.
given course in curly braces, that 48th line.
Right. So
Have
this
to,
needs to be matched with this one path. I'm telling that, okay, this is also my variable. Okay. This can be a dynamic, whatever it comes, right? Map it to this method variable. That's what this meaning is. Whatever in the
I'm
curly braces, you can have again multiple path variables again.
okay, but I have a doubt like what we have to give in URL path. I forgot actually.
Yeah, anything actually, whatever you give, right? It comes here.
Sir,
So
can you?
for example, actually here, you cannot map these courses, right? You can't read these courses in the method, right? Why? There is no way that you don't have like a method arguments actually here. There is no way. But in case actually if you want it, right? What you can do, you can take that particular portion as a, put that as a symbol wherever actually the placeholder, right? Put that in the curly braces and same name, give that as a like a variable, access that as a path variable, and you can use that in your method.
Sir, I have doubt in like we are calling this web mapping in web page, right? How to we call? I'm asking. Can you show that once again? I'm telling.
Yeah. So yeah, here is the URLs. So
Okay.
whatever I'm giving it right here, I mean, it can be like a anything, like garbage here, right? Or let's say that what I'm going to do here, I'm not giving anything Python.
Okay.
I'm giving one. It just
Okay.
whatever I'm giving it here, it comes, it reads this variable. If I want to read my path, right, whatever the endpoint path, and some of that path parameters actually I want it, then I can use this one path variable, wherever the placeholder, right, I need to give like this and then pass this one. So let's say I want to pass like another one course, also like a sub course. Okay. Now in this case, right, I need to pass two params.
Two parameters.
Okay. Two parameters. So now what I will do, again, one more path variable I need it. It's string, or not string actually. Let's say I take int also this time. Int. Exactly, I need to pass the same name here. Int
Okay.
subpath. Now what I will do, what I will do, I will return and sub course ID is okay percentage D sub course. Okay, let's see now actually what happens. I am passing two path parameters. One is first whatever I am passing here, and next one is sub course ID. Oops. So my URL right here. Let's say now
Course
it's
ID and
physics.
int.
Physics.
And
Okay. And then electron. Okay. No, it's ID, right? So let's say I'm passing two. Just actually how I am reading my URLs through the path variables. So Dakshayani is successfully enrolled for in the course in course physics, and subcourse is C2. If I pass actually some again data type is also mandatory, right? If I pass now like A, it throws an error.
okay. We mentioned in
Yeah, because I mentioned that one. I told my container that okay, path variable is coming as int. It's not string. So likewise, actually, you can take as many number of path params, and every path param need to be mentioned it here again. If you want to access, if you give curly braces here, you need to
this path.
mention them in the path param. Otherwise, it will again throw error. So let's say
Sir,
actually I will comment out. So I will comment out this one, right? I commented out path variable, and here I gave like a random just one. Let's see what happens. I gave courses, but I couldn't use it. Now let's go here. See, it's not mapping it anything. The sub course will not map it. I can't access this sub course, though it is coming right. I can't actually. I can even omit that also. Yeah, right. Let's see if I omit what happens. Oh no. I just need to give that. Yeah, I need to give some value. I need to give some value there, but I can't access that one. You can mention actually as many number of path params, but in order to use path param, you need to define path variable. Okay, is it clear for Dakshin?
Yes, sir. And again, I have a doubt. You written in 51 line, written string dot format percentile s. It's recognized as a string percentile s.
Yeah, so I think I explained it earlier. Okay, this is like a formatting. Uh, because I am getting it's making a string. Okay, so it's like a placeholder here. Percentage S stands for string. Percentage D stands for uh, decimals. So similarly, like a percentage F stands for float variables. So
Okay.
the variables, right, I am giving it at later point, but actually I'm giving a template. This is a template. Okay, and these are my placeholders. Wherever actually I want it, right, I am putting that. This is something similar to, okay, you have email template, and you will put like a hi. After hi, actually the name you will put, right. The name will keep on changing it. Today, you are sending to your 10 birthday invites to 10 people. So hi Sabha, hi Kavya, hi Shahid, hi Dharani. So it goes on that one, but the remaining data will be same, right? So same way, actually, I want to templatizing this one.
Okay. So, placeholder. Okay, sir.
Okay. Any questions from others?
Sir, will you commit this code?
Yeah, yeah.